Are you pleased with it?
Yeah.
And it looks like time for lunch. This was probably a beautiful sunset a little earlier. She comes.
I'm cold. My mum's just asleep.
Looks like the intrepid photographer we last saw in Malta. How's she been photographed? Oh, yes. Here we are, campsite, just before we get ready to go home, with all the Tree children, sleeping like goodness. Night. God bless everybody.
So this is the start. Saturday the 28th of August 1993. And there's the groom with two of the bridesmaids. And doesn't she look beautiful? Everybody waiting. Melanie, Andy and Uncle Tudor, and the whole group of them all chatting with the cameraman, yes, photographer, that's what you call him, isn't it? Oh, he's not quite sure about this little hat. Small bridesmaids coming. Lift one out. There they all are. Emma, stop crying. We're having a bit of a trouble, but I'm sure it'll all be alright. Here we are. No. Touring.
Loads of screaming brats.
They'll all be alright at the end of the day, no doubt. And so Anne survived. Everything looked wonderful. And a lovely car.
Mum, it really looks like a red vial. It looks like a red vial.
Obviously some jokes have gone about. And she's just going to pose for the in the car photograph.
Have you got our camera?
Got our camera. I'll just hold it. Don't upset her. No, not yet. Don't upset her. Right, we've got all bridesmaids and page boys ready. They'll be on soon.
Oh dear, there do seem to be quite a lot of tears today.
I can see more.
And the bridesmaids aren't sure whether they're stopping or going.
Emma, do you want to go on the telly? It's all at the cabin or on the telly?
Guy can then turn into each of the That's fine. Go, one.
We've borrowed the grounds of the church opposite. Yeah.
Are we ready? It's on the count of 3 over the heads for me.
I'm just getting ready to throw the confetti now.
Here we go. Count of 3. 1, 2, and 3.
We are at the reception. This is the Koza Hotel. The Cameo Suite. You're welcomed on a red carpet. We had a lovely starter. Came in through that door. See the staff hard at work. Happy bride, looking a little concerned about something at the moment, but no doubt it'll be all alright. I think she's rather glad that it's all just coming together. Oh dear. Amy's climbing, I think. And she should. Best man, his sister. We're just noticing that they're on camera. I did.
Mum, don't drop it on you.
Oh no.
I see that. Oh, I'm glad you can't see this.
Oh, I think she's in a bit of a mess. Never mind.
Why does she eat ice cream at home and makes no mess? I mean, it's been good feedback actually.
Gemma and Michelle.
Michelle?
Jackson.
Wait, Sarah.
Hello, Michelle. Anna, Maria and Julie. I am taking more pictures. And she comes around the corner. Whatever's Craig doing behind there? No doubt we'll find out later.
I'd just like to say thank you all very much for coming. I thought the meal was absolutely excellent and the service was first class, thank you. The weather couldn't have been better. Somebody asked me this morning who organised it. I organised it, Jackie. Is that all right? Fine. Thank you. And to the bride and groom, to Anne in particular, looked absolutely terrific today. Brilliant. Somebody says when two people get married that you lose a daughter and gain a son. I don't think we've done that at all. We haven't lost anybody. She's always been a great friend of the family, particularly to me, and I'm sure she always will be. So we haven't lost a daughter, we've just gained a son, and another addition to the family. All that remains for me to say, ladies and gentlemen, will you all be upstanding and raise your glasses for a toast to Anne and Craig, and I hope they'll be as happy for the rest of their lives as they are today.
To follow the groom.
Again, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody knows that, otherwise they wouldn't share.
Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, my wife and I would like to thank you all for coming today and joining in our wedding. It's been a real special occasion for us, and thank you all for coming. I won't keep you very long. I've got a few words to say and an awful lot of thank yous, so I'll get through them all, and then we can move on to my best man. Firstly, to my new bride, thanks for turning up today.
Touch and go.
I think you'll all agree she looks terrific.
Yeah.
When she finally arrived at the church, and I saw her for the first time, my mouth just dropped open. Andy, he turned to me at the church, and he says, you're right, she looks beautiful. I said, no, it's not that. I've never seen her in a dress before. Joking aside, you look great. And you made me a very proud man today. Well, thank you for that. I want to thank everyone who's made today really special, really loud. I've got a few special mentions. Firstly, to Derek, thanks for giving Anne away today. I'm sure in the years to come, you'll tell me what a pleasure it was. To Judy,
He's a nice, remarkable way.
you've helped Anne pick out a wonderful dress, and she looks great for that, and very grateful. To my mum and dad, simply for me, my mum and dad. To all the bridesmaids and the page boys, they look great. You behaved yourselves really well. And they've been really late. Alright, I wrote it earlier.
You knew that was it.
No, you look great. I hope they really enjoyed today, and it's something that they'll all remember. To my best man, thanks for all the running around you've done today. And notice I'm thanking you before you get your bit in. There's a few other people I've got to mention. To Lorraine and Julia, good pair. You've listened to us ranting and raving for the last few months. I'm sure without you two, we wouldn't be here. So, thanks. To Shirley, for making all these bridesmaids' dresses and photos outfits. Thanks a lot. Terrific. And I'm sure you'll have loads of orders later on tonight. People trying to book you for theirs. To Jackie, what can I say? You worked so hard this week. We saw Jackie on Thursday, and she'd been working. Where's he gone? Who wants to get in on the show? Jackie'd been working so hard on Thursday, by the time we come to see her, she was sat behind the sewing machine. She hadn't got a clue what she'd done in the day when we asked her. She was just in the day. I've got one complaint, Jackie. Anne's told me that my fun for tonight is out the window because I'm going to spend all night getting all the pins out of her head. Thanks a lot. So the beautiful cake we've got to thank Jackie Barry who works with Anne. She's done a wonderful job. I think you all agree it's really nice. But a special mention has to go to me, because if you see all these little bows on them, I actually made them. Not a thank you this one, but just a mention of someone who's quite close to us. Chris, Julie's other half, he's not here today. We missed him. That's on our best wishes for a speedy recovery. Finally, to my best man. My voice again. Over the years, you've always been there for me. Showed me the finer things in life. Took me to play football. Took me to Villa. They won today, 2-0. No problem. Took me to play cricket. Showed me the forward defence and all that. And I'm glad this year that I've finally given you something back to you. I've showed you how to score 100. But I must give you a word of warning today. I want to save your future embarrassment. I'm sure you're going to say a few words in a moment. I'd like to point out my wife's name is Anne, not Deirdre.
Just for the
anyway,
record.
that's the thank yous out of the way. I've got a few presents to give out. So if you just bear with me while we sort all these out. Firstly to both the moms. To Judy first. To my mum. Come this way, because I promised the video man I wouldn't walk, and I just did. Sorry about that. I'll stay here now. We got something for all the bridesmaids, so if I call them up and they all like to come round this side for me. To Michelle, got something for you. To Gemma. To Maria. Confused my list already. To Emma.
Emma. One big pizza.
No, Emma.
Depending for you. Mommy's got it.
Don't go away, Jen. To Rachel. Amy? And on to the page boys, to John. Nothing going wrong with this there.
As usual.
Sean.
Thank you.
To Callum.
He ran all the way. No, nice big hug and a kiss.
Finally to Darren.
Quick. Hurry up, quick.
You just like it. And finally, my last one was to Andy, my best man. Honestly, I've finished now. My last words though now is I'll ask you to raise your glasses with joining a toast to the bridesmaids and the page boys.
Thank you very much. Trying to follow that. I don't know. It was said to me outside the church that looking at us out there that I looked more nervous than Craig. I think it was probably true. And it's fair to say that I think probably right now I'm probably still more nervous than Craig, but that's because he doesn't know what I'm going to say. You have to excuse my nerves because I have to say to you also it's the first time that I have ever been best man for Craig. I believe that it's tradition at this stage that I should respond to his speech and say thank you on behalf of the bridesmaids and on behalf of the page boys for having them and for your gifts. And so, on behalf of the bridesmaids and on behalf of the page boys, thank you. Now, what comes next is I've got loads of cards here and things that I've got to read and you've got to listen to. So make yourselves comfortable because there's lots of them. But just before I get on with that, I thought some of you might like to know how it was that Craig managed to win I nearly got it wrong. Anne's hand in marriage. Now, not many of you will know this. It's quite a well-kept secret in the family, but I got to find out about it. And as you can see, Mum and Pop were aware that Anne was a very beautiful and attractive daughter, and that they were very keen that she should win for herself a husband who would be handsome, good-looking, rich, you know, all the attributes that you could think to name. So what they did was, to their home one night, they invited a number of eligible men to see if they could find somebody of that description. Now, there was lots of them that were there on the night, and somehow or other Craig got in as well. And they set about this competition, because if you know their house, some of you probably are not quite so familiar with this part of the thing, but they've got a rather big house with a big swimming pool in the back garden, haven't you? See? And there was this competition that they said, well, we're not sure which of you is the most eligible man to marry our daughter. So what we'll do, we have a competition. The first person that can swim a length of the swimming pool gets the prize, can marry. See? So of course all the men thought this is great because looking at Anne, what an opportunity they had there. So there was a mad exodus to the edge of the swimming pool when suddenly they all arrived at the edge, stopped dead, because there in the pool was this shark swimming about in the pool in the garden. Well, you know, Anne was very attractive and, you know, all that, but they weren't having any of that. So we thought that was the end of it, and then all of a sudden there was this big splash, and everybody gasped and looked, and there was Craig. Off he was going like, oh, you know, really going for it. And everything was all right for a bit till the shark noticed him. And suddenly there was a gasp again because the shark started to follow Craig and he was closing in. But Craig, being the sportsman that he is, got himself to the end, hauled himself out just before the shark got there. Well, they said to him, I said, well done. Didn't think anybody would do it. You deserve your prize. You can marry Anne. Tell us, is there anything else you'd like? And he said, I'd love to know who pushed me in. Oh, right. Anyway, on with the cards. So just stay with me a bit, and I'll try and read these as quickly as I can. There's a few here. We're not going to read them all, but do bear with me. Every blessing is wished to you both from Pastor David and Anita. Pastor David, who took the service this afternoon at the church. Lots of love from Chris and Julie. Congratulations and very best wishes. Lots of love from Julie and Chris.
Any more, Joel?
To Anne and Craig, best wishes for the future. Lots of love from Chris and Julie. You know, some people just like to get their names read, don't they? You know, but there we go. We got one. Best wishes, Craig and Anne. P.S. Sorry, West Indies trip is off. Ted. May God bless you and guide you both throughout all your married life, from Ivy Burton. Ivy was at the church playing the organ today. To Anne and Craig, lots of love from Mum and Pops, and lots of kisses. I'll read the front of this, it's better than the thing inside, I think. Just remember, the key to a happy, successful marriage is communication. So if he doesn't understand who's boss, spell it out for him. That was from Melanie, Paul and Amy, so Paul's obviously got a problem as well. Congratulations on your marriage. Are you still okay for the Poland match? Graham. To Anne and Craig, wishing you every happiness for today and your future together. Lots of love from Sarah and Steve. P.S. Sorry I couldn't make it, but I'll be thinking of you both. To Anne and Craig, hope you have a long and happy life together, from Joe. To Craig and Anne, congratulations and best wishes from Ron and Nigel and Earl and Steve and Sean and Paul and Kevin, Ray and Gordon, Dean, Daly and Steve, and the rest of the lads at the villa. Well, of course, he's been to see them often enough when they've been in trouble. To Anne and Craig, wishing you both every happiness for the future, love and best wishes always. Sharon, Rob and the children. Oh gosh, there's lots of these. This is one from work. If you want to, you can read this yourselves later. I'm not going to put you through this. Just one or two here. Hope your signing day brings many future benefits to you both. Love, Mo. I think that's a bit of an in-joke at the works. Don't do it, you fools. Congratulations, love, Jane. There's an informed person, I suppose. There we go. The congratulations to Anne and Craig. Hope you have a lovely day. I'll be thinking of you. Sorry I can't be with you today. Best of luck and happiness in the future. Love, Joan. In his speech, as you may, some of you know and some of you don't, not only am I his best man, I'm also his uncle. Which is perhaps a little bit unusual, but there it is. I didn't choose me, he did. But that means it gives me somewhat of a bit of an advantage because I have actually known him for all of his life. And I would like to add, as a matter of record, that I've known him for most of my life as well. It has to be said, during that time, that on numerous occasions, he has caused me considerable embarrassment and some little inconvenience. I mean, for example, today, I should have been playing cricket, or if I wasn't playing cricket, I should have been going to the football. Now, I ask you why they can't get married in between the cricket and the football season, I just don't know, but there we are. When he was born, Now I can remember this. It was early one morning. He actually got me up by about 6:30, and I think he was born around about 5 to 7, or something. I'm getting a nod, so I must be right. Now, rumour has it, I mean, that was very inconvenient for me. I was only young. I was going out to do my paper round at the time. But rumour does have it that it's probably the one and only time in his life that he's ever been up before 7. It's true. I remember Craig mentioned that I got it. Whoops. I'm being nobbled now. Have I said enough? I think it's time we moved on. He mentioned that I introduced him to football, and we used to go when he was a lad. I used to take him to the Villa, and he's gone on in that tradition, I'm pleased to say. And I remember one occasion, you'll remember it well. We went down to London to Highbury to see the Villa play Queen's Park Rangers in a League Cup semi-final replay. You remember it? And we marched down there. There we were in the stands, and I said, "Sit there, be a good lad, because I'm going to get you back, big crowd and all the rest of it." And his mum will shout at me, and suddenly Brian Little put us one up. Well, you know, we were there, sat there applauding as you do at the football match. And where was he? I looked round to see where he was. He was up there. Somebody had grabbed hold of him. Well, I didn't have to tell him off. They were holding him up in the air, and I thought, I didn't know he was ever going to come down. But eventually he did, and I had to tell him off, because really, when I tell him to sit still, I meant that he should. That was probably the last time he ever did what he was told. I remember we started to play football down the local rec occasionally with the older lads, and I was supposed to be the star, and Craig turned up, only a little boy at the time, and he kept scoring goals. Very embarrassing and very inconvenient, because really he shouldn't have been doing that at his age, not when I was there. But then again, that's what he did. As he grew up, we started to play cricket together. I'd been a cricketer for years. I'd been to nets when I was at grammar school, and I'd been coached down at Warwickshire, and I wasn't very good, but I'd been there, and we started to play again. Craig had done no cricket at school. He played a bit on the beach and in the back garden. We really didn't know what end of a bat from the other, so we went down. I said, "Don't worry, I'll introduce you to the club, and we'll see how we go, and we'll have a few games, see how you get on." So we played for a couple of weeks in the second team together, and then obviously I was playing in the first team, and he was playing in the second team. And the week after, I was playing in the second team, and he was playing in the first team. I don't think I've seen him since, really, because he's known. I've managed over the years to teach him how to beat me at squash. But probably one of the things you've never heard about Craig is that at 17, he joined the Subbuteo Football League. Now, this was very much adults only, and it made a bit of an exception to allow him in at the tender age of 17. And sure enough, he came on. Well, talk about embarrassment and inconvenience there. I mean, he totally ruined it for all the adults. Within 3 years, it was wound up because he kept winning everything. Dynamo Twycross was the name. Do you remember those days? Well, it's all over now, I guess. So over the years, I've been embarrassed, I've been inconvenienced. He's done all that to me, really. But now, despite all I've ever taught him, he's got married. I was thinking before that one of the roles of the best man should be to give some advice. So I was trying to think during the week about what advice could I give to Craig for his wedding with Anne. And then it came to me one day, it was early one morning, and I was about to go out to work. You know you do sometimes. I just overheard my wife Jill on the telephone, and she was obviously talking to one of her sisters. And she said, just heard a bit of a phrase of it, and she says, "You know, my Andrew," she said, "my Andrew, he's a model husband." Oh, well, you know. I thought, well, that's it. I must be the one to tell Craig how it's done. I was quite chuffed, as you can well imagine, and I went to work and told my secretary, I said, "My wife thinks I'm a model husband." I even actually, over a pint at lunchtime, mentioned it to the boss and said, "Yeah, actually, my wife, she thinks I'm a model husband, you know." And that, when we went to nets down at the cricket club, I also mentioned to one or two of the lads that, you know, I was quite a good chap because my wife thinks I'm a model husband. So that night when I went back home to speak to her, I said, "Couldn't help overhearing this morning, love. You described me as a model husband. Could you tell me what makes me that so that I can pass on some proper advice to Craig on Saturday?" And she said, "Well, before you pass on any advice, I think you ought to look up the word." Strange. So I looked up the word and I wrote it down here. Smaller replica, not the real thing. You missed the car. Well, catch up with me afterwards. Watch the film. We'll release it later. We get one sale. So no advice. No advice, but there are some lessons that you can perhaps look forward to, or not, as the case may be. Things to watch out for, like the two guys in a pub, and the one says to the other, "My wife's had her credit card stolen." And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that bad news." He says, "Oh, no, it's not bad news, it's good news." He says, the thief's spending less than the wife. And two other guys who happened to be sat on the other table to them at the time, so one said to the other, "My wife's an angel." And the other one says, "You're lucky, mate, mine's still living." Of course, Anne might have some problems as well in the future to look forward to. Such was illustrated by three old men that were in another pub that I happened to hear about the other day. And the one old man said to the other two, he says, I don't know, these days, he says, I'm really having problems, he says. I can't seem to remember anything. He says, I've forgotten the wife's birthday, forgotten her wedding anniversary. He says, I just don't know where I am. I think my mind's going. And the other bloke sat next to him and said, "Oh, I know what you mean." He says, the other day, you'll never believe this, he said, but I got up and went out, I forgot to get dressed. And the third chap sat there at the table with him. He said, "I don't know what you're all talking about. There's nothing wrong with me. My mind's perfect," he said. "I remember the wife's birthday every year. Remember the wedding anniversary. Never forget to dress properly. My mind's in perfect condition. Touch wood." Is there somebody at the door? That's what he said. Jill said I should leave that out, but I went for it. Never mind. Of course, if one can be serious for a moment, and I shall now try, it needn't really be like the jokes. And we all make jokes about marriage, don't we? It's all the time that people say these things, and none of us really mean it. Well, not a lot. But really, at the end of the day, a marriage is what you both make of it, isn't it? And we certainly pray that God will help you to help each other to a long and happy marriage. It was once said that you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. I wanted to say this afternoon that if Anne needs anything, any commendation from me to present Craig to her, it would be that if I could have chosen a family, I'd have put him in it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's enough from me. I'd like you once again to be upstanding with me and to raise your glasses in a final toast to our bride and groom, Craig and Anne. Bride and groom, Craig and Anne.
Bride and groom.
Jan and Maria feeding the ducks outside the chalet at Centre Parks on Saturday morning.
Oh, there it is. There's a... Yeah. Alex is waving at the fire alarm and it's trying to...
Right, it's now nearly 9:15, not 10:15 rather. Alex is fast asleep in the corner of the court. Can't even see his face. And then you come round, you see the court. And Maria. And Craig. Gemma and Andy and John. And they're just deciding on the rules. Such action. Oh, never mind, Maria.
And go.
Oops. This is after swimming and after lunch. Andy is attempting to beat Gemma's record.
There's a matter of honour about these, isn't there?
I think you're right, Craig.
Just jump straight over.
25 seconds. Yes!
Not as easy as it looks.
40 seconds.
Yeah. 3 seconds. 2, 1, go.
Go, go.
The challenge has been set before her. A gauntlet thrown down.
Not so reckless.
She seems to be doing all right at the present moment.
25. 30.
Here she comes back. What about Gemma's timing, actually?
35. Alex is choking out of her.
Oh, 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 oh!
She's stuck here. What's she gonna do? She's gonna make it. Finish it!
59.
Ah, she's stuck there. Stop it, Daddy! Go! Go, Daddy, go! Go, Daddy!
He's on target, 20 seconds, he's on target.
Come on, hon, you're on target! Go, 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 go! Bring encouragement there for your husband.
36.
Yo, Daddy,
Very
yo,
good.
yo, yo. Oh.
After a shaky start, recovered well.
Matched his uncle, no problem.
Beat him, 4 seconds off. Well done.
Yeah, and the red light comes on.
Yeah.
Go to Daddy then.
The best in each kind of praise, the best attitude for worship, the best way Come on, Al. Good lad. Come on then. Yeah, yeah. Break out. Ha
Hello, darling.
Alex.
What about this stadium, which looks absolutely magnificent, but there is a feeling in the Wednesday camp, I think, that it's maybe not as intimidating as it should be, because there's a fair bit of space between the pitch and the supporters. What's it like? I mean, you've been here with Reading, haven't you?
Well, I'll tell you, I brought Reading
Don't
here
give
the
me.
season, and when they come out through that tunnel and the movement of the supporters start that chant and music and the players that come out, I can assure you it won't seem spacious. They will feel as if this Wolverhampton supporter right on top of them. It will be like any Premier Division game that they ever are involved in. It's an atmosphere really to relish and to envy in many ways.